One mistake on this list is silently costing your practice hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and you probably don't even know you're making it. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 biggest mistakes Regen Med providers make when hosting stem cell therapy seminars and exactly how to fix each one. Stick with me through all 5 because it's usually not just one of these that's hurting you, it's a combination. Let's get started. Mistake number 1, the title and content of your seminar ad can make all the difference. It starts before anyone even walks through the door of the seminar with how you've titled the seminar ad itself. Inviting people to a regenerative medicine seminar, it's not going to be really as effective as if you invite them to a seminar they can easily relate to. One that solves a specific problem, such as knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, or hip pain, or whatever it is that you're using umbilical cord stem cell products for. The more specific your title, the more specific the benefit your audience can see themselves getting, and the higher your chances of attracting an ideal audience of ideal potential patients. And it's not just the title, it is the content around it. Whatever means you're using to advertise this seminar, whether it's social media or sending emails to, let's say, your patient database, be sure to clearly list what attendees should expect to get out of this seminar. Let them know they'll learn, for example, how others have been able to avoid drugs and surgery. Let them see how others have, again, regained the ability to play pickleball, to golf, to go on vacations again with their spouse, the things they actually miss doing. Let them know you'll be discussing new treatments proven to be effective for things like a torn meniscus, bursitis, or arthritis, of course, depending upon the body part, so that it makes it more personal, more relevant. If you offer more than umbilical cord tissue products to treat their pain, then let them know that they will learn the drugless, non-surgical options now available when it comes to chronic knee pain. And one more thing, be sure to frame this as an educational seminar. You're not selling them on treatment tonight. You're offering them a chance to learn how to determine if the drugless, non-surgical care you provide could actually benefit them. Get the title and the supporting content of your ad wrong, and you've already diminished your potential attendance before a single person even considers showing up. Get it right, and now the real work begins, deciding who you should actually let into that room. Mistake number 2, vetting your potential participants matters more than filling a room with just warm bodies. A packed room full of seminar participants who aren't your ideal patients isn't just a waste of time and effort, it's a sure path to frustration and burnout. Here's what I recommend is to create a pre-registration system for everyone who responds to your invitation or your social media ad, followed by a final registration step. This allows you to vet interested attendees, and it requires a phone conversation, which done correctly will significantly increase your show rate of the potential ideal people that you can help. That phone call is an accountability step. It shows you exactly how committed this potential attendee really is. Now, depending on how your office is structured, either you or your staff need to ask certain questions in a certain way during that phone call. Here's why this matters so much. Without proper vetting, you risk becoming nothing more than a cheap source of entertainment for the evening instead of a real, let's say, solution for people that are suffering and have the means to move forward with care if they actually qualify. Following the pre and final registration helps to prevent a mass exodus of your seminar attendees during your seminar close, which I will definitely get into at the end of this video. That phone call, that final registration process also needs to create a sense of urgency. There are specific things that you should say and specific things you need to avoid saying during that final registration to prevent the person from thinking, oh, I'll just catch the next one you have. No big deal if I make this one or not. Now, let me be clear. Vetting isn't mean or wrong. It's about filling the room with the people who are genuinely ready to hear what you have to say, while respectfully steering the people who aren't a good fit in a different direction. One of the worst things in practice, at least for me, is to sit down during a consultation examination. Someone gets all excited about the care, only for them to then reveal that they have not the slightest financial means to move forward with any care. If you want to avoid this situation, the final registration will get it done. Your pre and final registration has been implemented correctly, and you've now increased your odds of filling the room with the right people. But that's still not enough, because now you have to keep control of that room once they're in it. A quick note, before we move on to mistake number 3, if you're finding this content helpful, I want you to know that I've created a seminar final registration form designed specifically to help guide you through that final registration phone call. It'll help you and your staff get more out of both your in-office and your external seminars. Email me and I'll get it right over to you. I've also put the link down in the video description below. Mistake number 3 is not laying out the rules of the seminar. You now have a seminar filled with a very high percentage of what we can consider to be the ideal potential patients. However, you still have to carefully control the room, or someone else may try to do so for you, and that usually doesn't work out too well. So when this happens, it is guaranteed to negatively influence the number of people who sign up at the end of your special offer. Here's how I recommend structuring this. Ideally, you're going to have a seminar assistant that will be introducing you. Right before they introduce you, they are going to say something like this. Hello everyone, we are getting ready to start, and again, I believe that I met everyone here this evening, but in case we haven't, my name is Amanda. And before we bring out our presenter this evening, I want to go over a few housekeeping matters. We do not allow any recording of any type during this seminar without written permission from ABC Regenerative Medicine. I will tell you that the number one complaint at our seminars involves people who leave their phones on, and we all then get disturbed as a result. So at this time, I'm asking you to please pull out your phone, turn off your phones, and then put them away so that the person next to you does not get distracted, as well as yourself. And the last thing I will let you know is that any questions that you have during this seminar will likely be addressed at some point during the presentation. Because of the amount of material that we have to share with you, and the promise that we would get you out of here on time, we ask that you hold on to all of your questions and comments until the end of the presentation, and at that time you can meet with the presenter out in the hall and speak with him one-on-one privately. At this point in time, I want to introduce to you, and that's where your assistant will then go ahead and complete the introduction. Why is this important? Because despite your best efforts, there will always be a few attendees who feel the need to ask questions out of turn or make disruptive comments through your presentation. You and your staff need a plan in place for handling that in the moment, calmly and professionally, without losing control of the room. Set these expectations early, and you can eliminate the vast majority of disruptions before they ever even have a chance to occur. All right, let's talk about what you actually say once you have the room. Mistake number 4, it has to deal with the content of the seminar. This is where you shift from information to transformation in a smooth, steady flow, making sure that you're connecting all of the dots. This needs to start before you even begin speaking at the seminar. Lead with social proof by starting a testimonial reel approximately 15 to 20 minutes before you officially start speaking. Here's why that matters. You do not want people walking into a quiet room where they just start chit-chatting with each other. You want them focused from the moment they sit down on why they're there. Your greeter, your, let's say, seminar assistant, needs to be friendly but careful to set the right tone from the very first interaction. Professional, not casual. Your assistant or your greeter will make sure they've been fully registered. Offer each attendee a folder that contains written content about you, your office, testimonials, as well as other information. And be sure to include in that folder a pen and lined paper that is on your letterhead. I will create another video that explains how the attendees should be greeted, what specifically to have in that folder, what specifically should be said. But for now, understand that the greeter is setting the tone for the event. They are warm, they're friendly, but they're not going to, let's say, try to answer questions about what services you provide, the cost of the care, how often they need to come in for this care. The response will generally be along the lines of, "I'm sorry, Mr. Jones, I'd like to have those answers for you, but I don't have specific knowledge of that information as I'm the event coordinator, but I know your presenter will be covering all of that information during the seminar." After you've been introduced and you actually begin to speak, your opening line and your attitude have to convey three things immediately: professionalism, concern, and certainty. Start with an impactful, edge of your seat line, one that creates real curiosity and leaves your audience wanting more. Many people suffering from chronic knee pain have been led to believe that after the meds, physical therapy, and cortisone and gel shots, surgery is their only option. What if there was a way for you to avoid surgery, to avoid the drugs, and still put an end to your pain so that you could get back to living your life the way you want, enjoying the activities that you love with the people you love? This evening, I'm going to walk you through an understanding of why you are here and what steps you can take in order for you to get answers. From there, stay focused, stay on track, don't let the presentation stall or wander. Keep the audience engaged without losing control. Be direct with them. Your underlying message has to be that traditional medicine offers little to no solution for actually repairing damaged tissue. Stay on the current path that you're on, and you, in time, will likely be looking at knee surgery or knee replacement. Here's the takeaway you want them to leave with. There is a proven effective means to heal and repair damaged tissue of the knee for many people. The only question left in their mind should be, am I a candidate for this care? That single question, am I a candidate, is the bridge to the final and the most important mistake providers make, which is what I'm going to address right now. Mistake number 5 is not knowing how to close the seminar. Everything you've built up to this point comes down to this critical stage of your event. There is nothing more important than this, and this is where I see 90% of the offices drop the ball. First, understand what you're actually selling. You're selling the consultation, the examination, the special offer, not the care itself. That's it. That's the entire ask for your seminar. Your close needs emotion, real emotion, but not exaggeration and not manipulation. Timing matters here too. The forms for signing up and paying for that special offer are passed out by your seminar assistant right before the close, not at the beginning of the seminar, and definitely not during the close itself. Then you announce your special offer clearly and with total confidence. You're giving them the opportunity to find out if they would be a good candidate. You're not discussing the fees for your different biological services and options. You're letting them know that you may have a number of different options that they may be a candidate for, but until the consultation or assessment, you don't know what their options are. That's the purpose of the consultation and assessment. After the offer has been made, close with a clear call to action. Give the audience specific directions and immediately, without any hesitation and without taking any questions, move to the designated area where people can go to discuss the seminar information. This is not about them receiving a free consultation. Make sure you explain that to them. Be precise with that language during the seminar. You go to the hall and you let any potential distractions follow you out there. Meanwhile, your assistant stays behind in the room, booking appointments and collecting the discounted rate to lock in that special offer for those who are ready to move forward. You must be prepared as a true professional, not only in the presentation itself, but across all 5 aspects of this seminar. Mistakes in any of these areas will result in diminished consultations, diminished exams, and fewer people signing up for care. And all of that adds up to a loss of literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. The details have to be followed. A break anywhere in this chain of events greatly handicaps your results. Your staff, they have to be stellar. You must own this presentation. You have to know it like the back of your hand. This entire process has to run polished, just as well as an office that handles a brand new patient walking through the door for the very first time. And if someone complains about the way you run your seminar, understand this. They were likely never going to become a new patient in the first place, and their complaint is often just their excuse. That's it. Who cares? Move on. Don't focus on them. Focus on the people that genuinely want what you have to offer, and make sure that you give them that information they need presented in a way that creates the least amount of distraction with simple, easy to understand content. I've shared what I've experienced firsthand along with what I've seen work in practices across the country. But obviously, there is so much more detail to cover than what I can do in one video. This information has been responsible for offices increasing their seminar efficiency to the point where some offices have increased their stem cell umbilical cord injections by 2 to 3 per seminar, and some even higher than that. Some providers have literally increased their monthly collections up to $20,000 to $30,000 a month, and some are even higher than that. Some are as high as $400,000 per month. Obviously, the number of seminars you perform each month will determine what reasonable expectations you should have. Make sure you subscribe to this channel because I'll keep sharing content on practice growth, stem cell education, and product discussions. If you like to find out how you can receive my one-on-one coaching and mentoring, no charge, send me an email or a text. I'll be happy to schedule a time for us to talk. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If I can help you, fantastic. If I can't, I guarantee you I will not waste your time or mine. There's a lot of content on this channel that can help you, but in my experience, no two practices are ever exactly alike. So your solution may need some specificity. As a Regen Med provider, a stem cell therapy provider, your ability to communicate with potential patients is everything. When seminars are done right, they don't just fill a room, they help you educate those in need of your services and grow your practice the right way. I'm Dr. Roy Picard. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.